musical thing with the people and what I want call with Deh Yah, yo. Play by the king for love is all I bring is out, say. Well, I remember Sunday night when mama feel with Deh Yah church. Ratty pick we up and then we gone down a crystal blue. At market gate and sometime with the delay. The church people are passing second.
Welcome. I'm so happy to be with you on Cloud Record Music Podcast. I'm your host, Maurine McFarlane, and it gives me great pleasure to spotlight my special guest, 6-time Juno Award nominee, Jamaican reggae music star Kirk Diamond. This is a conversation you don't want to miss. You'll be charmed and inspired. Don't go anywhere. And now, a Cloud Record Music Spotlight. Kirk Diamond is a Juno Award winner, a singer, songwriter, producer, and social activist. Kirk spread the message of unity, inclusion, and love through his music, joined by his band, the Movement of Ahryel. Recipient of the 2020 International Vanguard Award and 6-time Juno Award nominee, Kirk was recognized in 2022 for his achievement in music and culture by the city of Bremerton, where he resigned, with a park is named in his honor. This made Diamond the only living reggae artist to be honored with a park. In addition, he was recognized and distinguished album by the Dufferin Peel School Board and received the Impact Award for his rich influence in entertainment. Kirk is currently on tour promoting his debut album, Dread. Gifted him his 3rd Juno Award in 2024, Dread, that was released October 6, 2023, that include the lead single, Reggae Party, that won a Juno in 2023, as well as the 2nd single, Bring It Good, that was featured in the drama film When Morning Comes. On October 15, 2024, Kirk unveiled his highly anticipated new single, Deh Yah, which depicts and celebrates his culture adaptation. Now I'm excited to have this captivating conversation with the most gifted and talented Kirk Diamond, who is joining us from his studio in Brampton, Canada. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Cloud Record Music Podcast. I am so excited today. I have an international reggae star coming out of Canada, Mr. Kirk Diamond. Welcome, Kirk.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Oh, listen, this is my honor and my pleasure. Are you kidding me? I'm so honored that you find the time to join us today. I actually heard of Kirk about, I think it was 2 years ago. We were a little bit over 2 years. It's a Christmas. So we wanted to do this Christmas concert to expose the artist to the audience and also to raise some funds for Haiti. This is what our hope was. But I have to say, Kirk, when we did that thing, I didn't have the following that I now have today.
Gotcha.
And what I found out from that is, in order to do that, you have to have almost a fan base.
Mm-hmm.
And I had just started this music company, and we were so brand new. So that didn't went very well. We didn't raise no money, and I don't think anybody sell anything. But here we are 2 years later, and it's interesting because now I started this music podcast, one, to bring attention to the music, but also to talk, interview people that are doing great music. And now today we have 135,000 subscribers from all over the world. I know, isn't it amazing? Yeah. So maybe in another year or so, we'll do something really different now that we have a base, right?
Right.
So that's what I've heard of Kirk. And what you're going to find out, everyone, is how talented he is. He's gifted, I don't want to even brag. I'm just going to let it speak for itself. So, Kirk, you were born and raised in Jamaica. Am I correct? Or were you born in Canada?
I was born in Jamaica. I migrated to Canada when I was 10 years old. you know.
Okay. So you've
Yeah,
been here
but
for a while.
yeah, I've been here for a while, but you know what I mean, my parents are so Jamaican. So even though I grew up most of my life here in Canada, it's still Jamaican training and
Mm,
teaching, you know,
I
from
hear.
manners and, you know, how to speak to people, etiquette and all that stuff. It's still very Jamaican, you know, so
Absolutely.
yeah,
Yeah. Now, Jamaican is known for many things, and some of it is the music, reggae music, but we have
right.
all genre of music. But you focus on reggae music. So what pulled you to reggae music?
Um, well, it has a lot to do with what we just said, you know, with me um coming to Canada at such a young age. I found myself without knowing that I was searching for identity, you know. I was searching for identity as to who is Kirk, you know, who's Kirk Douglas the person, not Kirk Diamond the artist.
Mm,
Um, you know, and when you're especially in the age of social media and even before that,
mm-hmm,
it was everything that we knew about being Jamaican was through music,
mm,
you know, and then getting older and then starting to have children and a family.
mm-hmm.
You realize that some of the stuff that you're listening to doesn't balance well with being a parent.
Yes, yes, of course.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And I ended up becoming, you know, depressed, so to speak,
Mm-hmm.
and end up leaving Toronto. I went to the coldest place on earth to me, which is a place called Saskatoon.
Where is
And
that?
it's in the middle of Canada.
Okay. I'm like, I never
Yeah,
heard of it.
dead,
Okay.
yeah, dead in the middle of Canada. The coldest I've experienced there was -72.
Ooh,
Yeah. So
jeez.
you must understand. So water freezes at zero and I was minus
Yeah.
72.
Oh
So you
my
must,
God.
yeah. So I did that for 4 years. Um, and my first 2 years there was just me alone by myself. No friends, no family, no nothing. And talking about you cry every day because it was like, now you have nowhere else to turn to but inside and to God, you
Did you
know,
find yourself?
100%.
Oh my
I found
goodness.
myself, but also a piece of me had to, for lack of a better words, I had to kill a piece of myself that
Had
I
to
thought was,
die.
yeah,
Yes. Oh my
you know,
good. So the true you could rise.
right, you
Ah,
know,
that is so hard to do though. I know for sure how
yeah.
hard that
But
is. Yeah.
it took a situation like that for me to become who I am now, you know, and I'm still
Wow.
working on being a better version of who I am now, you know,
Yeah.
because evolution is, you know, inevitable. So, yeah, so that's what really led me into the type of music that I sing now. But music has always been there since day one.
Right. Well, I have to say, it explains to me why you're such a conscious minded person. Like your music, like, I enjoy all your music, but I especially like the one I said, Let It Be Done.
Right.
And what inspired this song? Did it happen while you were finding yourself and your purpose? Or, was that
Um,
before?
you know, it's one of those songs where it's with everything for me, it is music. I only know how to communicate well through music. You
Mm-hmm.
know, if you and I were supposed to have an argument, now you're going to 100% win, unless we're arguing through music. Then maybe
Wow.
it not goes so. For me, let it be done. Is actually a prayer. You know what I mean?
Really?
Yeah, it's actually a prayer that I wrote, and I ended up just making it into music. You know, um, and I don't like confusion either.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of the times, like I would read certain books and they're explaining what the word amen or amen meant.
Mm-hmm.
And then another book would say that's not what it meant, but then let it be done was what it was supposed to. That's how we
Let it be
always,
done. Yeah,
right?
yeah. Oh wow.
So instead of me saying amen to create no confusion, I went straight to what it's supposed to mean
Let
and
it
say,
be
let it be
done.
done, you know?
Wow. Because when I listened to it, why I thought, gee, this is a person who is highly conscious of justice and injustices, right?
Mhm.
And it's so fascinating that you say it was a prayer, because there's certain words in it that I thought was interesting, because it says, they're playing the game on us when we were born.
Mhm.
Or craving is, right?
Mhm.
And I'm like, who are they? Are they the system, no matter where we are in the world, that are playing game on us? And, like, who you identify as they that are playing game? Because I believe they're always playing game with us.
Yeah, well, every form of system is always playing some sort of game, right?
Yeah.
And it's always, if you're supposed to break it down to the most basic form, like especially now, if you look on even social media, it's a lot of men versus women, women versus men, husband versus wife. You know what I mean? It's always that they attack.
Right.
So
Right.
some church women aren't allowed to sit beside their husband. Them
It's
can't wear
crazy.
this, they can't
Yeah.
wear that. Um, and then you find that the greatest way for any enemy to defeat you is to divide you,
Oh, yes. An
right?
old trick. Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And then it's
Yeah.
like in that type of meditation now, I'm always thinking the first protection we have ever had was our mother before we ever get taught of, you know, any form of spirituality or religious
Right.
anything.
Right. Right. Right.
Our mother was always the one that we run to in case of anything. Like even now, I have two young ones here with me.
Uh-huh.
Me and them play all day. As soon as one of them drop or bump their foot anywhere, they don't remember daddy again, mommy.
Right.
So in that same line, are like it's always the kings are the target, but none of them is stronger than the women. You know, the queens are actually the backbone of society.
Yes, it
You
is.
know, so when I say that now, it was in direct response to people being like, women are unprotected, are the most unprotected. Um, but for me and my reality and what I face every day, I see it being a situation where we're going to jail so often, we're being killed so often.
Right.
And if we don't have the women to stand up for us, we can't stand up for ourselves, because when we stand up for ourselves, we're deemed as animals or thugs or whatever other words they want to describe us as.
Right.
And but when the women speak in unison, all of a sudden you realize that all of a sudden everything changes.
Yes.
But when men speak, it's not so much. But what we also have to understand that it's one hand washes the other. So while the
Mm.
women are speaking up for us, the men have
Hmm.
to be able to protect the women.
I'm so glad you say that, because, well, you have appreciation for women and their place in society. And that could be from how you were raised, because in our society here, especially in the US, there's not so much respect for women. The elevation of women is challenging at best.
Hmm.
And even now, as we're seeing in this political climate, right?
Hmm.
And I do believe men are great, but I believe if a lot of more women were leaders or rulers in terms of even a country, I think there'd be less war in the world. It come with a lot of less ego. I think that has a lot of estrogen, and they don't find common ground, while
Right,
women tend to find a place of commonality where we can, find and some compromise, and we're not
right.
ashamed to compromise. So I appreciate your awareness of that. So
Yeah, man. Thank
you obviously are well raised. Well, because I love the song "Let It Be Done" so much, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to just play about a minute of it just so you get why I love it so much. And I'm going to, of course, invite all of you, because in our information below is Kirk links to all of his music, including this one, and his social media. So we want you to download all of his music. Okay, you're gonna love it. And so we're gonna play just a minute so you can say it. It's wonderful, and we'll be right back. So enjoy it.
Yeah. Now why you feel like they're so unhappy? Cause internally happy don't come from vanity. Don't you see enough kill themselves and don't know poverty? But to know it will tell you it's such a tragedy, dog. We glad to see when down in the ghetto, them a laugh and them a just a blessings like until.
Okay, I was right. It's first of all, I love the video, Kirk. You know, you have all these different which is why when I was looking at it, I said, wow, you know, he's showing these kids and you know, different places and the struggle. But your awareness of the struggle is what really got me in this video, which tells me you're a person who see beyond yourself and see others, right? And to me, we're expressing that in the music. I don't know if I was overthinking it, but you know, I like that. I like that about a person.
Thank you.
You know, because so many of us, when we reach a certain level in our life, we tend to turn our back, pretend like we don't see anymore. You know, but you're just like, no, this is still, yeah.
It is what it is. You can't sleep well at night. Well, for me, I can't sleep well at night if I know that everything isn't okay.
Oh my goodness. You know, I was watching your video. It's called Playing the Parks. Was very impressed with it. And it's something called The Movement. Is that a group is that your band?
Yeah, it's the band, yeah.
Tell us about it. Is this a newly formed band?
No,
or
the band has been together since 2017.
Okay.
And the band was formed out of a necessity. Because personally, I don't feel like a lot of people saw my vision where music was concerned. A lot of people are, you know, they went to church and learned how to sing, and they have that foundation. Whereas my foundation was me trying to leave church to go and
and find your way.
I'll find my own. So, you know, certain training, like when people talk about harmonies and key and all them something that I didn't know nothing about that.
You learn it, you teach yourself these things.
Yeah, you know, through being around people, it's like, yo, you're not on beat, you're not on key. This is harmony, this is the melody, this is cadence. But I was just always able to learn something and then do it. And I don't know how to explain what it is that I'm doing at the time. So what happened was in 2015, when I got nominated for a Juno Award, which is the Canadian equivalent to the Grammy, I started to have more shows. And I realized that with so-called black shows, they wanted to pay you whatever they wanted to pay you. And
less than everybody else, I guess.
And you could just come with your CD or MP3 and you sing over that.
Yeah.
And then I spoke to, at the time, he was the musical director for Morgan Heritage. And he said to me, listen, if it's a band show, have a band. Because when you sing, say you sing for 2 hours, whatever, and you think that you're doing well, when a real band comes up there and starts playing, it's like you were never there.
That's it. Wow.
So I've always had that in the back of my mind. And then in either 16, I want to say 2016 or 2017, I did a festival called the Toronto International Jerk Festival. And went to all of the rehearsals. And I think I rehearsed maybe for like half an hour altogether. And I said, I don't feel comfortable because I feel like you weren't paying much attention to my music. And, you know, you're hit with the, who do you think you are? Your music is easy. You're not this person, that person. You're not these, you know, so-called legends. You need to be more humble, this and the third. So me being a person thinking that, okay, maybe I am wrong. Maybe they do have it. Went on the stage and they forgot everything. So here I am now in front of 20,000 people and The band doesn't know
Wow.
my music. So for me, they're not going to say that the band messed up.
They're gonna say you messed
They're
up.
going to say I messed up.
Yeah.
And I said it will never happen to me again. And then I formed the Movement of Ahryel.
Ahryel.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was watching you guys in the video. You're very, very good. Very
Thank you.
good. So for someone like yourself that do you write your own music?
Yes.
Okay. So you write your own music, you're a musician, you're a performer. And are there times when, let me rephrase it. What type of music do you listen to when you're in your down moments? When you're in those moments where it's dark and, you know, or don't you get those? I know you went away to find yourself, but,
No, life is
yeah.
always happening. So there's a lot of those times. What I listen to it depends on the mood that I'm in.
Okay.
I listen to music that brings back fun memories, you know. So it will be like all of my grandparents are gone now, but I have vivid memory of them, and music
They play.
plays the soundtrack of my life. So I know exactly where to go to remember certain things, you know. I like, for example, just taking a sidestep from music. She watches like a lot of those older type of stuff like Dick Van Dyke Show, and I
I love those oldies.
yeah, I Dream of
Yeah.
Jeannie and Bewitched and all these
Yeah.
things. Leave It to
Oh,
Beaver.
my favorites.
So everything
Yes.
TV land basically show.
Yeah.
So for my comfort, I watch those shows, you know, and yeah, so these are the things that I do, and it's the same thing with music. So
Yeah. And the children ground you. They keep you grounded,
yeah,
no doubt, right?
yeah, definitely.
Yes.
And now my son is in here
Wow.
too because he had to follow his sister in.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, hello there.
So one is 3 and one is 1. So
Oh, they're little ones.
yeah.
Okay. All right. Do you still, I know you said you were trying to leave the church, and I assume you're no longer in the church, or you have your own path now?
I I got baptized when I was 16 years old.
Uh-huh.
And I left the church at 16 years old.
You get baptized and then you left it with.
I left in maybe like 2 months after that, after
Okay.
becoming baptized. And it was just because Bob Marley's, and it just depends on where I want to go back to. I listen to a
Yeah.
lot of old, I guess they call them R&B back in the days. So like,
Yeah.
Otis Redding and
Oh my
and these
goodness,
guys.
we have similar tastes in TV land as well as music. Oh yeah.
So these are the things. Like, to be honest with you, people always like, they often ask like, how come I like write the music that I write and I don't listen to it? But it's when you get my music, you're getting what's on my mind.
Right. That's how
I'm
it
not
is for
trying
me
to.
too. Yeah.
I'm not trying to follow a trend. I'm not trying to, like, it is literally you're getting my therapy in real time.
Amen. I like that.
Yeah.
Okay. So are you presently working on a project right now?
Yeah. I just released a song called Deh Yah.
Deh Yah. Okay. Tell us about it.
So Deh Yah is a song that speaks to the Jamaican experience in the diaspora. A lot of us, when we leave Jamaica, especially when we're doing music, it's almost like the rest of the world think that we should have leave our talents at the airport, right? With the title Jamaican at the airport, wherever you say. If you're in America, you're an American. If you're in Canada, you're Canadian. If you're in England, you're British now.
Really?
Yeah, that's the experience that I get, especially when you're trying to be successful at something Jamaican, like a reggae artist living in Canada. Mm-hmm. Which is the reason why I'm pretty sure a lot of your audience probably had never heard of me before.
Okay.
Right? Because we seem to not get heard or seen just based on location alone, right?
Hmm.
And there's no Jamaican reggae artist or any artist for that matter, other than who you might have heard, that don't have a 9 to 5, other
Hmm.
than music, right? Like I just don't have one now, but I've always
Hmm.
had one before.
Hmm.
And even in doing so, like I still have other businesses that I do,
Right, right,
you know.
right.
So basically, what Deh Yah speaks to is, adapting to foreign cultures and foreign lands, while showing how those foreign lands have to adapt to us and accept us, and they use our culture to
Right,
thrive
right.
themselves,
Oh,
you know,
yes, they do. Yes.
right? So it's, like in the chorus, it goes like, when you're in a party and you see people busting blanks and all that stuff, that is very Jamaican. This is not
Hmm.
from any other culture but us.
Right.
Um, the company that they call Clarks owe
Hmm.
us everything, because we popularized wearing that shoe so much. We taught the whole entire world what it meant to have that on our feet, stuff like that.
Right, right.
Um, it speaks to, a lot of times we get blamed for other people's, other cultures' issues. Like if there is a crime,
They
one time
blame.
we used to say, yeah, it's a Jamaican. And the person just had to be black alone, and, oh, he was a Jamaican guy. Oh, he had locks. Like we're
Oh,
the only one
wow.
that, you know what I
Right,
mean?
right. They speak to the ignorance of the people. Yes, of
Right.
course. Yes.
So I flew to Jamaica and I shot a piece of the video there, and I shot the other half here in Toronto, where in Jamaica I wanted it to be personal. So the home that I was born and grew to that age before I migrated, that's
Hmm.
in there. The school that I went to is in there. The same church that I was trying to come out of is in there. Um,
It's
Helsha
beautiful
Beach,
though. The scenery was absolutely gorgeous.
thank you. And then I showed the contrast version of that being in Toronto, where you see what Kensington Market looks like with Caribbean Corner, our own Jamaican supermarket. You see the Rasta flag flying. You see the jerk chicken man on Eglinton, which is
Wow. Do
is
you
called,
really? It's a little Jamaican, like a little heaven of Jamaica there. Wow.
right. So Eglinton is called Little Jamaica, where you can go there any time of night and get a jerk chicken and on
Wow.
the in the pan and everything, and So I wanted to show them that we're here. We do still keep our roots true to us, no matter when I left,
Right.
we're represented well here. So that's what they really really means and speaks to.
It's beautiful. I love it. I like the video a lot. Yes.
Thank you.
Oh, wow. So, what is your future plans? Do you have anything special ahead of you want to share with us? I know you do this last project.
I mean, right now we're focusing on. I guess it depends on when this airs, but on November 23rd, I am
Mhm.
headlining the Brampton Rose Theatre in Brampton,
Okay.
where I live. Which is a big deal to me. The first time I went in there was 6 years ago, and we had opened for Third World, right, with Cat
Oh,
Core and them. And
so
now
you're
six
moving
years,
on up.
yeah, so 6 years later, it's my turn, and
Well,
yeah,
congratulations. How about
thank
that?
you,
That's
thank
great.
you.
Ladies and gentlemen, I want to remind you again to all this link is below. So please go there and download all of his music. You will absolutely enjoy it. And of course, he also is on the social media. So you want to follow him and see what he's doing. Maybe when one day he'll come to America, your town, your country, you never know. But just
Yeah,
follow him. And in the
working on
meantime, yeah, in the
it.
meantime, buy his music. It's great,
Definitely,
wonderful,
yeah,
and support his work. We want him, he's international in terms of he's from Jamaica, he's in Canada, but would like the name Kirk Diamond to be like a Bob Marley type of sound where that name is known on every lips around the world.
right.
So let's try and make it happen. This is awesome. This is great. And you live in Toronto? Is
No,
that
I
where
live in
you're?
Brampton. I live in
In
Brampton.
Brampton.
Yeah.
Okay. All
So
right.
in 2022, the city of Brampton, they acknowledged like all the work that I was doing, because not only in music, but we actually speak up for injustice every time it happens.
Yeah.
And the work through the music, and plus with all the accolades that I've been able to earn, the city decided that they were going to name a park after me. So that too
Oh,
is in
that's so
Brampton.
wonderful. Oh, it's like a monument. The park is like,
Yeah, yeah.
say you're doing
So
good work. Keep
yeah,
up the good
so
work.
in
Hmm.
Brampton, you can, if you ever come to Brampton, then the Kirk Diamond Park is there for you to visit.
That is so awesome. Have you taken your children there yet so they can
Yeah, yeah,
see
definitely.
daddy's? That's a great legacy.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Congratulations, man. That's
And
great.
I
Just,
think
just
that was very important for me. I found it to be, if anything, I feel like it should be something that all of us are proud of.
of
You know,
course.
we try to ask that, when like dignitaries go to like Jamaica, they always go to the National Heroes Park and
Mm-hmm.
see
Mm-hmm.
the great side of like Marcus
Mm-hmm.
Garvey and all these people. And I
Mm-hmm.
try to say to them like, listen, I'm not dead, of course, but
You have a
I
point.
think that
Yeah.
we as Jamaicans should actually hold this to some standard. It is the only park a Jamaican has anywhere outside of Jamaica.
That's
Yeah,
awesome. And you
you
should
know.
have a plaque. I hope they have a plaque in it with your name on it. So, and
Yeah,
if
yeah, yeah.
not, you
It's
should
there.
have that. Yeah. Oh, that's
Yeah,
awesome.
it's definitely there.
Oh
It's a huge,
my.
like when you go there, it's a big
It's a
Kirk
big,
Diamond Park.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
And
wow.
I have a mock up of it downstairs somewhere.
That is a great legacy that, I mean, to leave, to have that for your children shows them that they had a parent that cares about humanity enough to be recognized for what one do, not just in your craft,
Right.
but in your everyday life. So congratulations. Excellent.
Thank you.
Well, I am just so thrilled. Now I'm really, really excited. I'm dealing with a really, awesome guy here. This is great. It's wonderful. I just hope that you have greater success,
Thank
greater
you.
than what you have. And I'm serious when I said, because your music, I love your music so much because you just didn't like make music just to make music. You make music with a purpose behind it.
Yeah, if it's just to do it, nothing would ever come out.
Exactly. And that's
Yeah,
what I
it
love
does.
about
It
it.
doesn't feel the same. It doesn't come out the same. Like it has to have a purpose and a meaning. Because even Deh Yah was written in 2016, so that was
Right.
8 years ago, and it just came out now because there was a need for it, and the need was, the reason why I put it out was the Junos, the same award system
Mm-hmm.
here for Canadian music,
Mm-hmm.
decided that they were going to take the reggae category out this year,
Right.
and the whole community spoke up about it. They ended up putting it back, but I was still offended that they would even think of taking it out.
Yeah,
With
why would they want to do that? I mean, reggae is such a big part, even of the culture of Canada.
exactly,
Yes, that doesn't
but
make any sense. Yeah.
what happens is this now: when you're from one culture and you only see your world,
Yeah.
and when you even take stuff from ours, you call it something else.
Yeah.
You're not caring about the root of where it's coming from. So
And
when
that's
we,
how it is too in America.
yeah,
And it's interesting because their culture would not be what it is without our culture
none of it
infusing
would,
with theirs.
none of it
None
would,
of it would.
you know.
Yeah.
So
So
like
isn't that
even
something?
the first set of Maroons um came to Canada first. And then they did maybe like 7 years, they were fighting against the French and all these people in Halifax. And then after that, they went on to Freetown, Sierra Leone. Those are the first set of free
Right.
Jamaicans that went back home, but they came here first. So we have, as Jamaicans, so much history here in Canada. So for them to say that our expression is able to, you are able to take out our expressions from Canadian music, I was offended by it. And
I guess you were.
so I decided, you know what? Let's go back for there and let them understand that we are actually here and we did
Right.
contribute.
And
And
great. Yes.
yeah,
Oh
what I
my
mean? And we
goodness.
expect and intend to be heard. Like you will never ever be able to silence us. And
Absolutely.
I think, hopefully, understand that now.
Yes. Well, it's just been such a pleasure. Lord, I mean, you've just enlightened me here today. You have enlightened me today. I am grateful for this moment. Gee whiz. I'm really enjoying this. Unfortunately, it's come to an end. I wish it didn't have to, but it's
We
such
can do
a
it
pleasure
again.
to have you. Anything else you do in the future, you make sure that we know about it so we can have you on. And again, ladies and gentlemen, please follow him and on his social media, download all of his music. Let's try and get him up there, right? Get
Please.
these numbers, right? To do that and check out his latest project. And as always, I want to thank all of you for taking the time to watch us. Every 2 weeks, we're here. And if you're new to Cloud Record Music Podcast, please subscribe, ring that bell so you'll get notice whenever we're on. And of course, follow Kirk and all of his platforms. All right. And we just want to thank you once again, Kirk. It's such a pleasure.
Thank you. Pleasure is mine.
Peace, everyone.